Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday Season Podcast. I'm Matty.
Hey guys, I'm Anthony.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the first episode. We're really excited to bring you guys some real down to earth content, not watered down, just real opinions for real fans. We'll be bringing you content from all over college football with a small focus on Oregon and USC. Those are the teams that Anthony and I follow. We will have new uploads every Wednesday previewing the week's action and Sunday recapping what happened. Every Saturday, we will be live watching games with chat, so make sure you're tuned in because things can get pretty crazy.
Matty and Anthony.
All right, Anthony, what are you thinking for your top 10, man?
So a little bit of change up happening this week. As you can see, I got Alabama at 10. They have Alabama at 12, but I think they proved themselves against Ole Miss. They always beat Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin is like 0-4 against Alabama and Nick Saban, so nothing, nothing happening there. But they look better at quarterback, so I'll put them at 10. Florida State Seminoles, they struggle a little bit with a lesser Clemson. I don't feel they're that good, but Florida State, they got some injuries there at quarterback, but they did show some poise on the road. USC Trojans did not show poise on the road to start, but Caleb Williams is a dog. He got them out of it, and they still won by 14 with everything that they had going wrong. I like that they pulled it out, but I sure hope they don't start like that again. Hopefully it was a fluke. Oregon Ducks, they proved me wrong this week. I thought the game would be close, but they just totally dominated. But they had a lot of motivation behind it as well. The only thing that keeps me from putting them at like 5 was that road game against Texas Tech that they almost lost, but they pulled that away too. It's kind of like what happened with the Trojans.
Right.
So maybe they both had those first road game flukes. Hopefully that's the case for both of us because me and Maddie definitely want to see our teams in the playoff. And how great would that be to have them both in the playoff at the same time and
Yeah,
maybe even face each other? That'd be fucking awesome.
that'd be crazy.
Me and Maddie would definitely have to go to that game.
Oh, no doubt.
Um, Washington, I'm scared of Washington. I think Joel Klatt has Washington at 2. Joel Klatt's a little out there, but ESPN's got them at 7. I got them at 6. Uh, they're just really good. Michael Penix is a dog. He's good. I mean, their defense seems to be okay. They did let 32 points to Cal, like Maddie was saying earlier. We were talking earlier. Um, but they play Arizona and then they play Oregon. So, and Oregon and Washington both have the same bye week. And so they're both going to be healthy when they play each other. We'll see what happens there. Penn State handled Iowa. They usually don't. They usually struggle against them, but Iowa can't score the football to save their life. That's like the story with Iowa. I think the hospital kids at fucking Iowa can fucking score the ball better than them. But Ohio State, they showed some poise in Notre Dame. They really drove the field at the last minute. They I'm not sold on the quarterback, but we'll see. I put them at 4 because they played a good Notre Dame team. Georgia Bulldogs, I'm not sold on them either. They're still really good, but they struggle at times to score. Their defense bails them out a lot, but I think their defense is a little suspect too. They've given up some points to some really bad teams, and their schedule's a real cupcake until the end. Michigan, cupcake schedule, but they're dominant. We'll just keep them at 2. Texas Longhorns, great win against Alabama. No matter who plays Alabama, Alabama's defense is that's a real defense. If you score 30 plus points on Alabama at Alabama, which only 3 or 4 teams have done ever against Nick Saban and Alabama, to me, that's probably the best win that I've seen all year from a top 5 team. Maddie, without further ado, what's your top 10 looking like?
Okay. I'm very similar to Booties, just with Anthony, just a few different changes here. I do agree with him on Alabama. I mean, Alabama, Nick Saban is as almost average as they've looked. They still could beat anybody in the country. So I'm gonna keep them at 10. USC, This ASU game didn't shine a very good light on them for me. From what I saw, just the week before, you have an Arizona State team that lost 29-0 to Fresno State. And yes, Fresno State's 4-0, playing very well, but they're not USC. And USC allows 28 points to Arizona State. And at the same time, Arizona State was doing a lot of trick plays, right, Anthony? So there was
A
kind
lot of
of
trick plays.
a
A lot
lot
of
of
trick
trick plays,
plays. And they got
like
an NFL guy at running back too.
yeah, and
I'm not gonna.
Scatabo.
I'm not gonna.
Scatabo was awesome, man.
Not
Um,
gonna. Yeah.
what was Scatabo's stats? Like, how many pass did he throw? Like 5 passes?
Dude, that dude has some crazy
I'm
stats.
pretty sure Scatabo threw like 5 passes against USC.
He did.
And
I'll bring
okay,
it.
yeah. Figure
I'll
it
bring
out.
some up. You keep going.
Yeah, and then Florida State at 8. Again, Booty and I have a different opinion of Clemson at the moment. I still think of that the win at Clemson is a big win. That's still a I still think Clemson is a top 25 team. When it's all said and done, they will be. I think that's a big win in Death Valley for them for Florida State. Jordan Travis is hurt, did get hurt. We'll see what happens with all that. Because those little injuries could kind of nag the whole season, and that could be something that comes back to bite them. Again, I have my Ducks at 7. Um, Great win this weekend, no matter how bad Colorado actually is. Um, Anybody who's an Oregon fan knows the feeling I'm feeling, and it's feeling like when Oregon was going to the playoff with Mariota. Like it feels like that year. It feels like that kind of magic. When it's your team, like you can feel that. At 6, I'll have Washington. Much respect to Washington. They've been playing great. The allowing the 32 points to Cal is probably the only reason why I have them at 6 and not 5 above Penn State. Um, and that will put Michael Penix, awesome receiving core, probably the best in the country. But the defense, questions. You allow 32 points to Cal, your defense has questions. Number 5, Penn State. As bad as Iowa's offense is, that a 31-0 shutout is a statement. Period. Penn State is kind of reminding me almost of Oregon. They feel different this year. So when them and Michigan meet, I think Penn State's gonna win. 4, Ohio State, very impressed with that last drive down the field against a great Notre Dame defense to win the game. Their offensive line is fucking awesome. Obviously, quarterback, they have a couple options. When we have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. Receivers are great. We all know that. And then the defense, we haven't heard of Ohio State's defense just being dominant, and so far they have been. So watch out for Ohio State. Texas, still going to give them credit for the win at Alabama. Obviously it's lost a little bit of its shine. But I'm not going to put them in the top 2 just yet, but I will give them a respect and put them at number 3. Michigan, cupcake schedule until they meet Penn State in, what is it, November 11th?
Yeah, November 11th.
They'll be undefeated till then. Penn State will beat them. Mark my words. Number 1, gonna put Georgia at number 1. They haven't looked as dominant as they have in the past, obviously, but until they lose, I'm not gonna knock them from that number 1 spot.
So I got a question for you, Matty.
Uh-huh.
What do you think is worse? Allowing Cal to score 32 points or allowing Texas Tech to score 30 points?
I think Texas Tech is better than Cal, and the game was in Washington compared to the game being in Lubbock for Oregon.
Okay.
So I think that I don't think those are really comparable, because I think Texas Tech is better than Cal. The game was at Texas Tech, whereas Washington played Cal at home and allowed 32 points.
Yeah, that you have a point there, yeah.
Yep.
The only thing that I worry about Oregon is the penalties.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that one road game, just like USC had. I
Right.
think both our teams are suspect to that first road game that we've had, and hopefully we're gonna see what's gonna happen here on out. But um, yeah, we'll figure that out here
Yeah.
real soon.
Oh yeah. 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 We'll see what happens.
Me, well, USC first, right? I think is Oregon at home this week.
No, Oregon's at Stanford.
Ah, Stanford though. Fuck.
Yeah. 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 Well, hey, I mean, remember back when they Herbert's senior season, they were number 3 in the country and went down there like week 3 or week 4 and lost.
Really?
So,
I
well,
forgot about that.
yeah, yeah.
But
So
who was coaching though?
Mario Cristobal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
Hey,
know.
hey, but to give them credit though, the Miami Hurricanes, they're on the rise.
Miami is looking. Oh, I mean, they're looking all
I
right.
mean, they're on the rise. They're okay,
They're
you
definitely
know.
on the
I
rise.
mean,
Definitely on the rise.
yeah, I'm not saying like they're
Mm-hmm.
crazy, but I mean, they're okay.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
All right, and actually, that's a pretty good segue into our under the radar teams and games of the week. Booty, are you ready to give us your under
Teams
the
and
radar
games going under the
team of
radar.
the week?
That's like a submarine. Um, yeah, under the radar games. So I got Duke versus Notre Dame. Duke is at home. Um, it's not so much a under the radar game because College Game Day is going there this week, right? But um, I think I think Notre Dame has a real chance to go for their second straight loss. I
Okay.
really do.
Yeah.
Um, Duke is pretty good. They are unbeaten. They've been scoring an average of about, let's see, they got 28, 42, 38, 41. So let's say an average of 35 points, give or take, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been holding all their opponents to under 14 or less points throughout those 4 games.
Okay. Yeah, you can't.
That, I
Yeah,
mean,
especially when one
okay,
of those opponents is Clemson, right?
right. And
Like,
Clemson just put up what on Florida State? And Florida State has a great defense, supposedly one of the
mm-hmm.
best defensive
That's
players
true.
in what's his name? Verdell or something
Oh,
like that.
Jaden Verse.
Verse.
Yep.
Yep.
J Verse,
And
something Verse. Yep.
yeah, granted they did it at home, right? So you got the crowd behind you, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Florida State might have had that same bug that Oregon and USC had, right? Road game
Okay. So are you picking
bluster.
Duke as your under the radar team of the week as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one more under the radar game, which is Georgia Auburn. Auburn's been a little sneaky quiet. They've been playing okay. They haven't been playing bad. But I do think, they finally meet an SEC team that might be able to go toe to toe with them.
Okay.
Not so much offensive wise, but maybe defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Just depends.
Right.
How about you, Maddie? What are your under the radar games for the week?
I'm looking at first of all my under the radar team, and this is really through the whole season. I'm gonna go with James Madison. They're 4-0. They have beat they beat Virginia week 1, Power 5 school, right? They beat let me get this over here. James Madison. There we go. So obviously week 1, Bucknell 38-3 blowout. Beat Virginia 36-35 at Virginia. Then they go down to Troy, win 16-14. Then they go to Utah State all the way across the country and win 45-38. You want to tell me this isn't a fucking strong team? James
I think
Madison,
I think it is.
they play South Alabama next week, which will be a decent game. Then Georgia Southern, decent game, but they're going to win both those games. They're going to be 6-0 going to Marshall, and Marshall could also be 6-0. So that could be the game of the year on the Sun Belt. And I'm actually really excited to follow this this James Madison team. I'm very excited. They have Jordan McLeod is their quarterback for them, dual threat. He's he's awesome. I would be highly surprised if he wasn't in the transfer portal after this season. And then for my game of the week, we're looking at Washington and Arizona. Okay, and the reason I picked this game is because I was not like we talked about earlier. The 32 points at home to Cal is wild to me. And this is a Washington defense that's been praised all year. Oh, Washington's defense, blah, 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 blah. You give up 32 points to Cal at home. That's not okay. And this Arizona offense with Jaden Delora, Tatoria McMillan, the receiver, T-Mac, as they know him. He was an Oregon commit, went to Arizona. He's been awesome. He's got what, 22 catches, 350 yards, a few touchdowns this year. But then you got Washington's receiving core, and you're like Odunze, McMillan, Jalen Polk, and that's not even it. I think all three of those guys are averaging 100 yards a game. All three of them, bro. But I think Arizona can score the ball, and if because I even watched that Washington game, and Cal was moving the ball on that defense. Because obviously everybody wants to watch their rivals just to see what they're up against, right? Um, and so I just think Arizona can score. I think they can make this a game, and then being at home, possibly pull off the upset because they have some great athletes on offense. If they can force a couple turnovers, not give up a special teams touchdown and a defensive touchdown like Cal did, it'll be a completely different game.
I'm right there with you too. I'm kind of hoping for it because I kind of just want Washington to lose those first couple of games,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean?
Yeah, before watching them this weekend, I was very scared of Washington. But after watching that Cal game, my confidence for Oregon has risen greatly. And now let's get into
Prediction time,
our predictions
mofos.
for the week. Anthony, what are you looking at for Oregon at Stanford?
Oregon at Stanford. I'm thinking, well, it's another away game, right? So this is what their second away game.
Mhm.
I don't think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be a blowout. Uh, Actually, this is their third home game because I remember Oregon played in Hawaii, right? So they blew them out the water. Um,
No,
but
no, Hawaii played at Oregon.
oh, okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Well, anyways, I still think Stanford's terrible. They're just really bad. USC only let them score 7 or 10 points. When USC holds you to 10 points, I mean, goddamn, I mean, you gotta be pretty
right.
fucking bad. And I'm talking about my own team here.
Yeah.
Uh, Trojans at Colorado. I got my Trojans. I just hope they don't do what they did last Saturday. I don't want them to start shaky. I want to see them grow into a championship team. I want them to show me that they can go on the road and shut somebody up, and
Mm-hmm.
take care of business, just like
Mm-hmm.
Oregon did, but on the road, right?
Right.
If they could
Right.
do that on the road, man, I mean, we got some tough road games this year. I mean, we got to learn this now. We got Notre Dame and Oregon. Those are probably our two toughest road games. And if we don't take care of this now, we're going to lose both those games. Um, I got Trojans winning 42, probably around the same, 42-24, 42-21. Colorado's going to
Yep.
score. They're going to come out. They're going to come out aggressive. Um, they're going to come out real. They got embarrassed, and they want to make up for it. So they're going to come out with everything they got, and Trojans need to be ready. Florida at Kentucky. Um, I could honestly see Florida losing this game. I think it's a tight game. Uh, Not a lot of offense, more defense, I would say. Um, I'm thinking like maybe 31-21, uh, Florida. But think I'll take Florida. Yeah, now actually kind of thinking about it, they have the better running back and everything like that. Tigers at Ole Miss. I'm gonna go for the upset. I'm gonna go Ole Miss. Uh, I don't think Brian. I'm not sold on Brian Kelly. I've never been sold on Brian Kelly. Uh, it's never worked for him at Notre Dame. I don't think it's gonna work for him at LSU. Uh, I got Ole Miss winning 38-27, around there. Maybe closer, maybe like 34-38, you know. Um, and Notre Dame, my under the radar game, Notre Dame at Duke, very low scoring. If Duke's gonna win, this is gonna be in a brawl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like 24 to like 21, close game. Notre Dame quarterback's gonna try to bail him out. I don't think Notre Dame's gonna be able to do it. He didn't do it at home. I don't expect him to do it on the road. And that crowd is gonna be pumped.
Yeah.
And Duke is known for basketball, and it's kind of exciting to see them with a good football team.
Yeah, it is.
Maddie, how about you? What do you got for your predictions?
Okay, for number 9, Oregon at Stanford, we got a spread of 27 in favor of Oregon, obviously. Over under 61. Oregon does struggle at Stanford. Like me and Anthony were talking before we were recording, and Oregon does go down there highly ranked and struggle often. That being said, as I was talking about earlier, this season just has that feeling. It just has that feeling where this team just gets the job done. I think Oregon wins 52-17. USC at Colorado. I'm going to tell you, Colorado was awful. Last week was just the start of it, I guess I should say. I think USC goes in there and slaughters them. I think it'll be similar to Oregon at Stanford. We'll go USC 49, Colorado 21. 22, Florida at Kentucky. This is pretty much a toss-up. Kentucky's -1, over under a 44. I think Kentucky pulls this out. I'm a big fan of Devin Leary. I was a big fan of him at NC State. He's a tough guy. He reminds me of Garrett Schrader at Syracuse. Him and Garrett Schrader very similar to me. Very tough dudes. They run the ball, gritty when they run it too. They're not avoiding contact. He has thrown 5 interceptions, which has hurt Kentucky, but I think they pull this out. I'm gonna go Kentucky 31, Florida 24. 13 LSU at number 20 Ole Miss. LSU favored by 2.5. I don't think Ole Miss is very good. I'm not gonna lie. I think LSU kind of got right the last couple weeks. I think
They had a close one against Arkansas.
True, but that's a big rivalry game. And the game was at Arkansas, correct?
Believe so.
That's a big rivalry game at Arkansas. Arkansas is always that team that kind of like pushes people to the brink and never beats anybody, anyway. I think I'm going to take LSU over Ole Miss. 34-27. Notre Dame at Duke. I think Notre Dame gets right. I don't think Duke is as good as some people are saying, including some other people who are included in this podcast.
Arkansas game was at home, by the way.
Oh, it was at home. Okay, but I think Notre Dame wins this game pretty easily. I could see a close first half, but I think Notre Dame pulls away in the second half. I'm gonna go Notre Dame 27, Duke 17. I mean, that's eight. We're gonna do what we can every week. We'll see what we do too. We'll probably start segments on Sundays, where we see what our predictions were and see how we did. Maybe we'll keep a record for each other throughout the season. Would you want to do that?
Maddie, I'm gonna also, yeah, let's do that, and then also some other games to note. We got Texas A&M at Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how Texas A&M handles that. I think Syracuse is gonna beat Clemson. Um,
Yeah, that
Clemson
was
goes into
almost my under the
Syracuse.
radar game of the week. I almost picked that.
You got another good game, Georgia at Auburn. You never know with that one. That's the SEC showdown, and you
Right?
got Kansas at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I thought about going to that game at one point, but I wouldn't be able to watch my game, so nope.
Nope.
Um, yeah, and that's pretty much it. Nothing else here really catches my attention, but
Right? Nope. Yeah, this is just hey, big thank you to everybody for supporting us. Anybody who subscribed, anybody just watching. Hey, if you enjoyed the content, please subscribe, like, comment, share. Give us the love. We're always gonna show love to you guys. We're here for you guys, man. We really
yeah, get
are.
us out there. Get us out
Yeah,
there.
help us out.
Post us on your social medias. Put some comments. Maybe put your top 10 in there. Give us a top five. Give us your
Yep.
top five.
If you
You
have
know,
any ideas for segments you guys want to see us do, because we do have plans to bring in, like maybe like funniest moments of the weekend for Sundays, stuff like that. Um, if you have anything you guys want to see, any kind of segments you have ideas for, let us know. We want to bounce ideas off everybody. Um, this is a community, guys. This isn't just me and Anthony, doing our thing. That we want this to be a community. We've loved all the support on the live streams. Um, so let's keep it rolling, right?
also too, let's put in the comments if you guys want to see a certain game. Put that in there. You
Right,
know,
right. If
give
there's a
us
game,
requests to show
right,
a game.
right. Requests for games. We could even probably start poll. I can even start polls. During the week, I can make a post with a poll with whatever 10 different games. Whichever games are picked, that's what we're gonna watch.
We're always
Um,
gonna show the Oregon and USC games, though.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it'll always be Oregon USC games. But we're definitely gonna evolve our podcast, our live streams, as the community sees fit. You guys, so just keep that in mind. You guys are just a part of it, as Anthony and I. We might be producing everything, but we need your help too. So, I again, uh, thank you. That's all. I mean, that's all we can say. Thank you for tuning in, watching. We're gonna keep this rolling. Anthony, do you have anything you want to say, man?
Just appreciate you guys watching, and can't wait for Saturday. Hope to see you guys to watch some games with us, and go Trojans.
Let's get it. Go Ducks.